We're joined by Femi Odugbemi, a Nigerian documentary filmmaker, screenwriter, cinematographer, director, producer, photographer, storyteller. He's been behind so many notable works from Tintel, Mama Put, Morocco, Battleground, the brains behind Multi-Choice Film Factory. There is just so much. If I go on, I would not stop. It's great to have you, sir. You are very welcome.
Thank you.
You're
it's a pleasure
welcome.
to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You might not remember this one, but also he's also credited with giving me my first role ever in a TV commercial. That was DV Works quite a very long time ago. I'd spoken about this. I remember the last time I spoke to him, 2015, 6 years ago, and it's such a pleasure to have you, sir. You are very, very welcome.
Really good to see you.
You've been involved in so much, but let me just start from the latest one. You're a storyteller. And there is a need for storytelling, especially when, to address societal ills and things happening around. The trend of moving out, JAPA, which you already have now, it's also, we can feel that storytelling. You're trying to address something that is happening. Tell us about that project, which of course has been making the waves. We know, yes, you want to address something, but what is your mindset behind it? How did JAPA come about?
Well, JAPA is really the story of Africa's young people. We talk about how, oil is our big resource. Yeah, but in truth, the youth of Africa are Africa's best resource. We talk about how Africa is 60%, young people. Nigeria especially. 60% of our population are under the age of 50, which means that we carry, an incredible amount of resource, human resource. People who can create, who can innovate, people who can take our country in a direction of prosperity and a fuller life. But those people are discouraged. They are not buying into the country. They don't like what's going on. Opportunities is zero for them. Hope is like a scarce resource, which is why everybody wants to get out. And of course, if you feel, a lack of opportunity in a space, your instinctive reaction is to leave. And I brought this up in a storytelling form so that Nigeria pays better attention to this fact.
Wonderful.
Why do our young people, our future, why do they not want to be here? They don't want to be here because we have failures of infrastructure, we have institutional failures, we have things that impede their dreams. If we can deal with those, they will stay. Look at what happened with NSARS, the way it was organized, how technology played a part, how seamlessly they were able to articulate a different kind of future. Everybody admired what happened. I mean, obviously before the rowdiness at the end. And so for me, JAPA is movement. JAPA is a story of these young people. Is how do we come to a place of understanding of why they want to go. But it's also a story about what the cost of it is. Because a lot of young people also are thinking of leaving without calculating the cost. It's not simple, and it's not free of pain. And the question is, can we create a continent, a country, that does not invite our best resources to escape, to go away?
This brings me to the next question. Why are you so passionate about the young people? Because I know that, you created a platform, IREP, which you also use to celebrate the young people documentary filmmaking, which has been on for about 11 years now. And I've seen you at different points in time talking about the young people, pushing, heralding. What birthed that passion?
Well, I'm always about the future. I think it's always foolish to concentrate on the past. You can't do anything about it. The present is your only opportunity to shape the future. And so for me, the best resource going into the future is your human resource. There is really nothing about the future that is not shaped by humanity, by the quality of mind that will be there. And for me, regardless of whether we're talking politics, we're talking arts, we're talking in whatever sphere, technology. The future is about young people. And the future is about the tools that young people need to create a different and a better future. And that tool for me is always technology. And when you combine the energy of the young, the imagination, the innovation, and you combine it with the enablement of technology, you're actually shaping the future when you support the dreams and hopes of young people. And
that is what you're doing with the Multi-Choice Talent Factory. Yes. Let's talk about that. We can see images of Jackpot here. A number of people have graduated and they're moving on to great things and all of that. That should really make you very happy and proud.
Well, Multi-Choice Talent Factory delights me greatly because, you know, we gather together 20 incredibly talented young people. You must understand the process of selection. I mean, you get like 2,000, 3,000 entries, and we're selecting 20. But those 20, it's a residential. Those 20, you know, they're paid to actually study. Those 20 are people who are already creating. They're already storytelling. Those 20 have a clarity about their future. So when we bring them together for one full year, we create, you know, a pool where they can network, they can, you know, exchange ideas. But we also give them an unusual curriculum that gives them a sense of how the business of the business works, that, you know, gives them a sense of how storytelling works, not just in our environment, but everywhere. You know, storytelling is global. Storytelling has conventions. It's actually technically easy to learn, but there are many things that people need to learn about storytelling. It's actually power. And it's not just that you're telling a story, it's what kind of stories you're telling.
You've mentioned that before in the previous interview. You said choosing, researching, finding the right kind of story to tell. That is something that our industry, as Nollywood, can use and move forward. What do you see about the future of Nollywood? With all of this, with all that you are putting in, with all that people like you are putting in, how far can we go? Where can we get up to? What is the future objectively of Nollywood?
There's no stopping. I mean, the sky's the limit. Why? Because we kind of have like a perfect storm. We have an incredible number of young people who are genuinely talented. They're really talented. And I'm talking about in front and behind the screen. The camera. Now we're beginning to concentrate as well on training. Everywhere you turn, you'll find young people are going to film school, they're going to art school, they're creating, they're energetic, they're innovative. As long as we continue to do that, the future for Nollywood is, you know, there's no limit. Because essentially the currency is innovation and creativity. But the greatest resource we have is that we have a pool of stories. Africa is where everyone is looking for us to tell our story now, globally. And we have like a heritage of storytelling. We have a really great literary culture, which we have to connect to our film culture. And we're beginning to do that.
But what do you think about, because there's a recent trend of remix happening in Nollywood, of the old, what are your thoughts about that? Shouldn't we be telling entirely new stories? Why do we need to go back to the past to pick up those ones that, you know, enthuse us while we're growing up?
Well, that comes with building an industry. I mean, obviously, every time that an artist does a work and the artist grows, the artist always thinks, I can do that work better. And they have to have the liberty to do that. I think there's enough stories being told that are fresh, that there is room for retelling of stories. But where I think the trick is that the retelling does not have to be by the original storyteller. There are ways in which, you know, other people can also take a story that's being told and retell it from their own perspective. Stories are eternal. And for me, I think that's really one of the things that, you know, we're learning from that, is that you can take a story from, and it's being done everywhere. Hollywood does that, you know, the Chinese film industry does that, India's film industry does that. So there's nothing we're doing that's sort of wrong. The trick is not to stop creating fresh things and to make those connections as well to stories that come from, you know, our novels, to stories that come from our folklores, and obviously to stories that connect, you know, with what's going on also today, because I do think that in many ways, a lot of our stories are not reflecting the challenges of our environment. I mean, we can't have this sort of challenges in governance, challenges in infrastructure, challenges, you know, in so many areas, issues, and the majority of our films are love stories and comedies. There has to be a way in which our film industry, you know, leads the way on some of the issues of our time.
Wonderful. Sir, you are such a reservoir of knowledge. I could sit down here for hours and hours, but then you know how it is on TV. We'll still have you around. We have something for you prepared, and we'll talk about maybe the Orange Academy and IBF a little bit, but we'll just have to take a break now.